In this RabbitLoader review, I'm going to walk you through the software and I'm going to show you everything you need to know step by step. So what is actually RabbitLoader? RabbitLoader is actually a WordPress plugin that reduces your website load time using content minifications, lazy loader and CDN caching. You can actually prioritize critical above the full content and store your asset in a CDN cache to improve your site UX and SERP ranking. You can also optimize loading time of your web page and monitor performance from your WordPress dashboard. So without wasting much time, let me just jump into my screen and show you RabbitLoader itself. But before that, if you want to purchase RabbitLoader, I have actually a special link in my description box. You go ahead and use my link to do the purchase, okay? So what you're actually looking at is actually the back end of my WordPress itself. So I already upload the RabbitLoader. Once you purchase the RabbitLoader, you can actually download the WordPress plugin. So by adding the WordPress plugin, it's very simple. Go to plugin here, add new. Alright. Then you can actually upload plugin and then choose the file and then you activate the plugin itself. Okay. So once you plug in, you can actually see the RabbitLoader plugin over here. Just click into that. So the very first time when you actually activate this plugin itself, you actually need around 1 to 2 hours for RabbitLoader to actually analyze all your web page itself. Okay, so once it is done, you can actually see there's actually different tabs over here where there's actually home, URL performance, image, critical CSS, CDN usage, demographic settings, log message, and help. So for home itself, you can actually see your best page speed score, which is actually 96. Then the average score, 85 out of 100. Okay, so it's actually calculated based on all the discovered page and include unoptimized page itself. Okay, so moving downwards, that's actually not ready for the world yet. Okay, so if let's say you toggle to me, only you can see the optimized versions of the website, or if let's say you toggle to everyone, so everyone on the internet see the optimized version of the web page itself. Okay, so moving on, you can actually see the hot URL cache is actually 24 out of 25. So the image compress is actually 46%. CSS reduction is actually 0%. So over here, you can also clear your cache. You can actually purge all page, or you can actually purge a single page itself. Alright. Okay, so moving down, if let's say if you need some help, you can actually contact their support, or you can actually have their knowledge base, which is actually available on the plugin itself. So if you have any question, go ahead through the questions, or else you can actually contact them itself. Okay, so moving on to the next tab is actually a URL performance itself. Okay, so you can actually see the hot URL cache 24 out of 25. Okay, best speed score so far 96 over 100. So the average speed score achieved is actually 85 out of 100, which actually mean it's actually pretty good for my website itself. Okay, after I download RabbitLoader. Okay, so you can actually see from the web page itself, okay, the individual page and the desktop, we have actually a speed of 96. Then on mobile, it's actually 88. Okay, so initially when you actually download this plugin, they're actually reading. So maybe after 1 or 2 hours, after they actually go through, you can actually see the score itself for your individual page itself. So it's very detailed. Okay, so you can actually take a look at this as well. Moving on to image itself. Okay, you can actually see the number of total image. You can actually see the original size is actually 5.1 MB. After optimized by RabbitLoader, it's actually reduced to 2.7 MB. And then the size improvement is actually 46%, which actually is very significant. Okay, so for the average load time before optimize is actually 438.2 milliseconds. After average, now after I download RabbitLoader, it's actually reduced to 253.9 milliseconds. So there's actually some image samples. So right now for JPEG it's actually 31% faster and it's actually 12% faster. So one of the culprit which actually delay your loading time is actually image. RabbitLoader actually did a good job over here, okay, for this image optimization. Okay, so moving on to the critical CSS. Right now, I believe that RabbitLoader is still actually analyzing the information. So there's actually no information over here. So once you have actually information, you can see the total number of page, original CSS page. You can actually see the optimized CSS page as well. You can actually see the improvement Okay, you can actually see the average render time before optimize and also the average render time after optimize. So it's actually very detailed. Then you can actually see more information, the original size, optimal size, and the percentage in improvement. So moving on to the next one is actually CDN usage itself. So for CDN usage, you can actually see the quota remaining. Then the next reset, there will be actually a graph right now. You can actually see the access request. Okay, moving on to the next tab is actually the demographic itself. So for demographic, you can actually see the top 10 countries, the top 10 states, the top 10 cities. So you can actually see all the country, the CDN bandwidth they actually use. Okay, in percentage, the access request count, the access request as well. Alright. Okay, so moving on to settings, there's actually some settings which you can actually do, some general settings. You can actually instant content change. It's created for my visitor. You can actually turn off, default is actually off of course. And then you can actually turn me on mode to do testing and resolving conflicts. Okay, you can actually exclude some URL. Okay, and then there's also some guideline over here. You can actually go through the guideline. You can also ignore some parameters. You can actually do some parameters as well. So there's also some guideline as well. Alright. So if you want to disconnect RabbitLoader, it's over here. Then over here, you can actually manage your page rules, set origin, or you can actually purge your logs as well. Okay. So from here is actually the log message, and there's a log message as well. Okay. So there's also helps, which is actually about the knowledge base and content support, which I actually went through earlier on. Okay. That's about it for RabbitLoader plugin. So let me just go through the price right now. Okay. So this is actually an AppSumo deal. So feature includes in all plan is actually the WordPress plugin, WooCommerce compatible, PageSpeed score booster, above the fold CSS for every page, JavaScript and CSS optimization, lazy loader of below the fold image and video, image auto conversion to WebP, WQIP blur image placeholder. Okay, so for tier 1 is actually 59, all featured above included, 100 GB monthly traffic bandwidth, 5 website, 25 page rules, unlimited page view. So for second tier is actually 109, all featured include 250 monthly traffic bandwidth, the rest is actually unlimited. Okay, so for third tier is actually 189, all feature include, the only difference is actually 500 GB monthly traffic bandwidth. You can actually upgrade to fourth tier, which has 1 terabyte monthly traffic bandwidth. Okay, so I will actually suggest you to actually upgrade to the second tier, which is actually 250 GB, or the third tier itself. Okay, so if you want to purchase RabbitLoader, go ahead and use my link in the description box. And then it comes to my end of this RabbitLoader review. I actually hope you learned something from me today. And if you want to watch more software review, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Okay, so to the next review, I will see you. Meanwhile, take care and goodbye.